into product management and been having thought of. Sorry, she said, okay, apologies, I'm trying to like get this. Hold on. I'll need you to give clarity to this question, please. All right? Anome, but I'm trying to see. Okay, so the question is recently transitioned into product management and been having this thought if it's really for me or should I just transition into product design? Are these feeling valid? What do you think I can do to help me become a great PM? So
Mhm.
Bisola, that's you. Okay. So what do you advise here? This sense now.
Okay, I
Someone who is
think
having a conflict of I don't know, should you call it conflict of interest, right? Trying to know what what career path is best.
yeah,
Yeah.
but I guess it's good Onome is here, so you might need to answer some
Yeah.
questions for me first. So
Remember you here so you can give clarity.
yeah, I can see
Yes.
Onome is here.
Yeah.
So I think the first question is, why did you double into product management in the first place, and why is product design looking more interesting to you now? Onome?
Yes. Um. So, hi. Good evening, everyone. So I transitioned into products, or why I chose products management was because I've been working as a customer representative for 3 years now, and I think I understand the customers' points, customers' worries to some extent, and feel I could solve some of their problems, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And why I'm thinking about product design rather is because I love to create things. I mean, I love to design, and so yeah, I'm just in the middle.
Okay. So I think the one other question I didn't ask is, what are those things right now that are making you feel like, oh, I want to leave product management, that is.
Okay, maybe because I'm still new into it, and I'm not like really understanding some like say concepts or yeah.
Okay. So to be very honest with you, this question can really only be answered by you. The most important thing is all of these questions I've asked you is to get you to start thinking of your whys. Because if you don't have a strong reason to be somewhere, it sounds like, oh, I I was a customer service person, and all of this while I've been looking at product management from afar. It seemed interesting and it's something I'd like to do. But now that I've gotten into it, it's almost like, oh, this isn't what I expected, right? And now you're thinking of product design. And the very truth is there's a possibility that you get into product design as well, and then you start seeing other things and you decide, oh, why am I here? So, first is finding your conviction. Where do you really want to be? What aligns with your specific career goals over time? Why are you really there, and is it strong enough? Is it an area that you're passionate about? Now, I'm good that you mentioned that you do understand the users, and the truth is that will work for you either in product management or product design. But in the decision on where you should be, it really can only be you. I would I can sit now and tell you, oh, be patient, because the truth is product management is not an easy space to be. If you will join the call early enough, you'd hear all of the people that talked about their week, talked about some stressful parts. Someone said, oh, I went for some customer interviews and one person didn't show up just now and whatnot. There will always be stress along the way. It's not an easy peasy area to just think to work at. So really, it's just for you to find the conviction in you and your why, and then stick to it. Because even if I tell you today now, oh, product management is the best thing that can happen to you, is the next thing since sliced bread. If you don't believe it and it does not really align with what you're looking for, even if you stay for the next 4 months, then you say, oh, why did Bisola tell me to stay here? I regret it. I still want to leave anyway. So really, you just have to find that conviction in yourself. I don't know that anybody can make that decision for you.
Okay, thank
Okay,
you.
thank you. Onome, does that answer your question now?
Yes, it does. Thank you very much.
Okay, okay, because yeah, I think I agree with 100 with Bisola. Okay, so you need to understand your why. As a matter of fact, I think that's what we do in product. Correct? In product, we try to understand the why behind the thing or the problem we're trying to solve now. So same thing, it applies. It's same thing with career, right? So I have my students. So each time before I start a new cohort, I try to like understand why they want to do this. Okay, then try to see where they're coming from and why they're transitioning now, right? Your why is what's going to guide you, obviously. So yeah, that's that. Thank you very much, Bisola. Thank you.
You're
So I think
welcome.
we have someone is asking. I finished the 3 months. So who is this person? This is Uh, Letitia Chinecherem, are you here? Good evening. If you're here, maybe you'd throw more light. Okay. This person said I finished a 3 months course on product management, but I need experience to be able to scale my career. I've requested to volunteer at some firm, but they're not getting back to me. So please, I need your help on this. I am willing to volunteer at any capacity and still open to referrals. A mentor can be of help too. Okay. I don't know. I don't think this person is asking a question, but
The person is
what
asking
do you think?
for opportunities. Yeah.
Mhm.
So, well, the good thing is, one, you have come to the right place in the sense that PIP is a community where you can meet people, network, and put out there what you're looking for. And someone who knows somebody that needs a volunteer or has the capacity to take on a volunteer, or even they themselves need someone, can easily pick it up. Unfortunately, I personally do not have any, I don't know anyone right now that is taking on volunteers or that is looking for. Now, the other thing is, apart from volunteering, the other thing you can also do is apply for internships as well. I'm not saying that's an easier path, don't get me wrong. But the truth is, excuse me, product management, I'm sure a lot of people who are now practicing can tell you it wasn't the easiest thing to get into. I mean, based on conversations I've had or I've been having with a lot of people in the industry, right? They've had to sweat and do a whole lot of things. But just keep hanging in there. Don't give up at any point. And please keep putting yourself out there, reaching out to people, asking questions, put yourself in the community as well, asking people if they have roles available that you can apply to, or anybody who actually can take on volunteers at their jobs, and you might just find someone soon.
All right, thank you. So I have a question for you myself. Me.
Okay.
From me to you. Yeah. So I think I came across this tweet on X, that's Twitter, formerly Twitter, right? Uh
Don't
where
worry, it's still Twitter to all of
where
us.
someone act what?
I said it's still Twitter to all of us.
Right. So I came across this tweet. So the person said in 2024, but I'm trying to find that tweet, so I'll read it out exactly the way the person said it. Okay, but I'm still going to
Mhm.
like where's my notification? Okay. So the person said in 2024, MVP is dead, right? You shouldn't be building an MVP. Okay, yeah. So this is it. So let me read the way he said it.
Mhm.
Uh, so MVP is dead. Never launch an MVP to the market. Users' mentality are always evolving, and they are very very familiar with how digital products should work thanks to standardized UX patterns across apps and softwares now. So the year 2024, okay, the year is 2024, and I think the only reason you should have an MVP is when you want to test your product with a small group of potential users for feedback purposes. So what do you think?
I don't necessarily agree, but I guess the person is talking to those people that build useless in quotes UXs in the name of MVPs, right? Because I mean, there are terrible things that people put out there just because they say, oh, this is an MVP. And I'm not saying, oh, build the perfect UX and whatnot, but please don't let your MVP be more stressful than whatever they were doing in their lives before, right? So if that's the group of people this person is talking to, then that's fine. Otherwise, I mean, I don't expect an organization, a startup most especially, to spend a lot of money building all of these elaborate things when they don't even know yet that it makes sense. The point of an MVP is to test out your idea. So obviously, you're not going to release an MVP as, oh, product to 1 million people, everybody come and use it, right? Your MVP, as far as I'm concerned, should be, oh, I'm testing certain things, and so there's this small group of people that we need to not necessarily be beta testers, right? But there's a small group of people that are going to use the app alongside, or rather, use the app, and then we are getting feedback from them to know if this product in the first place makes sense. And then we can start thinking of expanding on it, making it good enough, or a proper product, a full-fledged product for people to then start using, and of course you continue developing on it. Yes, users' tastes and needs would always evolve and change, which is why you're not expected to spend 6 months building your MVP, right? And whatever long that you're having your MVP discussions, you are also constantly in touch with users. So if for whatever reason there's a delay in your process and you talk to your users last 4 months ago, and now maybe you now have everything set, you're ready to build your MVP, you can't use the data you gathered 4 months ago to build today, because the truth is things have changed in the market. Your users have evolved from whatever they used to do before and whatever they are doing now. So I actually disagree with the person that MVP should be something that people should yank off in the process.
Okay, okay, thank you. Okay, so for those that are just joining, welcome to group mentorship session. So this is Bisola again. If you were here 2 weeks back, you would have met her. She facilitated the last session. So yes, to Chinedu, you can ask questions here. So if you have questions, please leave them in the comments, or you can raise your hand. Okay, that works. So I want to ask a quick one before we get back to the questions in the chat. So how do you think validation should be done now? How do you think product validation should be carried out, like in this modern era, in this fast-paced industry,
Yeah.
to get effective results?
Yeah. So I think first things first, you are not, before you think of validating anything, you know the people that you have built for, and you probably even had conversations with them earlier, right? So what you're validating is basically checking, oh, does this solve your problem that we spoke about before? Do you understand? So it is really getting your product, your MVP, whatever you have now built, into the hands of those users that are specific to, because I mean, I can't come out and say, oh, I'm building a product for the youth, 18 to 35. Not all of them is my business, right? There'll still be ways to categorize the youth into smaller groups based on, say, for example, buying power, lifestyle, whatever it is that fits whatever it is that you're selling and the people that really do have the problem that you're trying to solve and are willing to pay for it if it's a paid product, or that get the most value from what you're giving. So those are the people you need to get your product into their hands. And there's no validation more than getting a feel from. So yes, there's surveys that you can have, but I don't feel that that will give you all of the data as well. So actually talk to some of them, right? In the sense of, oh, this problem you used to have with this product that I've given to you, what improvement can you see? What value are you getting from it? Does this make sense? Are you really going to pay for it? Right? All of those conversations, all the things that you need to check to ensure that your product is actually, well, that you actually have product market fit, right? That is, there is a market for you and there are people willing to pay, basically, long and short.
Thank you. All right, thank you very much. Thank you. Okay, so Chinedu, you can go on, please. But before then, Temi Oluwa, I'm gonna get back to your question, okay? Chinedu, just go on. Ask your question, please.
Okay, good evening, everyone. Good evening, Bisola.
Good evening.
Um, so this is actually my first time joining this group mentorship, and I'm actually glad that I did it because this is looking like something that I've probably needed for a very long time. So without taking too much time, my question is sort of centered around responsibility in the product management role. So my story, I sort of stumbled into that role, right? Based
Mm-hmm.
on the fact that I would say I'm lucky. I work at a startup, and so obviously there's a lot of opportunities for quick growth. I started with them like last year,
Okay.
as just a product designer, right? And then when the opportunity arose, when we did like a review of my contract and all of that, I requested for the product manager role, which was a vacant, and then I got it. Um, I was really excited about that, but then some things change afterwards in terms of, like, I mentioned this is a startup. So the previous way of operation, right, with the previous product manager, is that whenever we want to do anything that's regarding the product end of things, would always come. It's a small team of less than 10 people, so you can easily know what everyone is working on and doing. And then we come
Mm-hmm.
together and then we deliberate and, like, oh, okay, let's brainstorm on ideas and see which way should we take.
Mm-hmm.
But fast forward to this year, since after I became the product manager, it's sort of changed. So when we have issues, when we want to talk about products, the vibe I get is, okay, everybody says, oh, we need to do this, right, right, right. Chinedu, that's your responsibility. Go ahead with it. And I'm like, yes, I know it's my responsibility, but there are some things I do not have technical knowledge of. There are some things I do not have technical knowledge. For example, our product is sort of like legal based. So I'm not a lawyer. You all guys are lawyers, right? So if definitely there are certain things I might want to do in our product that I probably need a lawyer to, explain the part. And that's why I thought we were a team working on it. So it just felt like, oh, they were dumping, and everybody just, okay, just dump off the work on Chinedu. So my question is, as a young person coming into all of this, it's a little bit overwhelming for me, because I'm like, what's going on here? Is this is this what it means to really be a product manager? Should I just quietly tell them, you know what? Can I just go back to just designing? And so I just thought I would ask the more experienced people in the house if you guys ever had to experience this, and how do I really navigate this? Like, it's no longer fun for me. And this is someone that really likes products, but it's no longer looking like fun anymore. It's looking more like a lot of responsibility. And you know how startup is, a lot of fast-paced expectations and all of that. So I'm like, I don't want to have this conversation with my CEO, and then it looks like I'm turning down a fantastic opportunity, which I'm like 2 months in. I'm really scared to say, oh, CEO, please. I do not like how this is going on. Because so I don't know. What would you advise me to do?
All right. Thanks, Junaid. I'm guessing it's looking like a case of what I ordered versus what I got. But the truth is, as a product manager, especially in a startup, you definitely wear many hats. But as you said, if it is things that have to do with legal, they're not things you can do by yourself. And one other thing that you need to know how to do as a product manager is toast people. In the sense that, oh, as much as everybody's busy, okay, this is now on Chinedu's head and whatnot. So it's probably not on their list of to-dos, it's not high ranking. But for you, you know that you need to get that done and out of the way, right? Excuse me. Before the In order for it not to be a blocker and maybe delay whatever it is that you have in your pipeline and your roadmap that you need to build, the truth is you need to get them to understand that as much as you are the product manager who is getting things done, getting legal advice on how things work legally really is not something you can do by yourself. You need their help. So as I said, you're not going there to fight and say, oh, how can you people leave this for me? Are you not the lawyer? No. You have to find a way to toast them and help them see how their contribution creates value in the long run. What is the path? It's oh, we're all in this together. This is for all of us. Without this, there's some sort of failure down the line. You can explain what that really looks like, right? And basically get them to really understand that as much as a product manager who is outlining this, doing that, bringing people together, asking everybody alpha, moving the job along, there are just still some things that you might have base knowledge on. And the truth is, as a product manager yourself, you should also start understanding that the space you're in, right? So, but as much of because the legal space especially is not somewhere you want to play with and just as a JJC who just read somewhere, oh, this is the new law section, this and that and that. You go and put it inside your product. And then you guys are in violation of something or the other, right? Law is a very niche area, and that is something that they need to get on and help you get the in-depth understanding, the in-depth need, and make sure that you guys are just on the right path legally, right? So, yeah, the little answer is toast them. And you cannot get away from being overwhelmed as a product manager at certain points, especially at the beginning, because there's a lot of information that you need to learn. You just need to manage that and make sure that you are, as I said, very soon you should be able to start speaking legal lingo, at least at a base level, because that's the space you're in. So understand your space very well and toast the people when you actually need the in-depth help. At the same time, you're not just going to them now to say, oh, I need help with this law, right? Try to be specific because it helps the person to quantify the kind of help that you need. So this and this is exactly what I need, right? Ekweyon, please. So this and this is exactly what I need. And then that person can see, oh, maybe it's only just take 15 minutes of my time to help Chinedu understand this or figure this out or point him in the right direction. You're not just giving them a vague and large thing that the person can't even figure out how to start and begin or start and stop with their own already large workload. So yeah, I hope that answers your question. And please don't run away from product management.
I will try to, but right now, the way I'm getting it left and right, I'm like, what's going on? I think I should take it easy on me.
It feels like you're the second person this evening now that thought that you just enter product management and it's sweet. My dear, it's not rosy. And also, you mentioned that there was a product manager before. I'm assuming the person left the organization.
Oh, actually, that's the funnest part. The person stepped up to the COO role. Even he himself is
So,
almost unavailable for questioning all of a sudden. I'm like, guy, we used to talk, we used to be close before. What happened?
as I said, you need to go and start toasting people and can't be doing guy big because now you need to also understand what that person was doing that was working. Do you get?
Yeah, I'm listening.
So I guess, I mean, a CEO in COO rather in a startup, person is mega busy, but there might be some 15 minutes window in person stuff that you can be stealing. It could be, oh, you find the person, don't be a nuisance, but small snippets of time that you can easily just find the person, quickly go there and strike up a conversation. Oh, you need some guidance in this. How are you doing it? These are the things I'm struggling with right now, right? And I know you were towards the person. I know you were doing this wonderfully well before. So how did you get here? What can I do better? And things like that. And it helps because the person has a good view of what happens in the organization. They know all the players involved and they were there before. So it will be easy for them to guide you.
Okay, man. Thank you. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Okay, I hope that helps, Mr. Chinedu. Yeah.
Ella also has dropped an extra point for you that could also be helpful in the chat. So you can check that.
Yeah, great, great. Or if you need professional help, you can always, like Ekpen Young suggested, you can always befriend Lai Wasabi, all right? So that you guys can you can always befriend him. So yeah. All right. Coming back to Temi Olua, apologies that we skipped. All right. So good evening, everyone. I recently got a PM role. My question is concerning user research. So I drafted out a survey and I want to get feedback from at least 500 to 1,000 people. I don't know if it is wise to spend money on social media ads to reach a wider audience or ensure that my team pushes on their own social media platforms on my end. Sorry, are you here? If you're here, could tell me, are you here, please? Maybe you give clarity, all right? Are you there?
Sounds like
Oh,
she's not.
okay, okay, okay.
Yeah, she probably
So did you get
dropped
the
off.
question, Bisola?
Yes, I did, but off the top of my head, without having a lot of context, I don't know that social media ads is where you want it to be. Because I imagine a good number of us here, when you come across ads, I'm not sure you haven't read in the details, you just skip and move on and keep doing what it is you were on your social media to do, right? And if you are getting responses, because I mean, there are a billion and zillion people on social media, you need to get responses from specific people. So maybe you are doing targeted ads, but I don't know that a survey should be an ad, right? Survey should be for the potential customers that are going to be in your space. So you know the personnel that you need to, that your product should be directed at. So figure out where those people are and find a way to get the survey to them. But just throwing your survey out to social media, I don't know that that's the answer to that.
Yeah, I agree. I also don't think you should run social media ads for surveys. So there are
Yeah.
communities to utilize, and yeah, just like you said. Anyways, thank you, thank you. Um, okay, so I think we have a question on just like I think it was Chinedu who asked that question, right? Um,
Which one?
no, not strategy, prioritization. Hold on, let me put it up. So, so this person is asking. I don't know who that is though. How can I effectively prioritize tasks in a fast-paced workplace where speed is crucial?
Um, Tasks. The truth is, it is the short answer, right? Is figuring out what is the most important thing to do. What can make or mar the organization, and those things that fall in that category should probably be at the top of what you're doing, right? I mean, I'm speaking now without extra context on what kind of tasks they're trying to prioritize. But basically, and if whoever answered asked this question is here and can give more context, that would be great. Otherwise, I just feel like whether you like it or not, there is a way to know what is more important and what can wait. So do the more important things first and the things that can wait can wait. And in cases where you can ask for help for someone else to do something to move a task along, please use your teammates.
Okay, great, great. Thank you very much. Olumide, you can go on, please. Olumide, are you there? Hello? Uh, Olumide. Okay, Chino, you can go on, please.
Okay, so just quickly, right? I wasn't the one who actually asked this question, but now that the person asked it, I kind of resonated with how really important this is. So I mean, in some more context, in some more contextual view, I think the person is more or less like talking about a fast-paced workplace. So for example, there are situations where other stakeholders, or let me just put into context, some of the other guys you work with, like the other people, your team members, most of them are more of visual people. I found myself being in that situation times with a number. So you are having a conversation like, oh, this is what might be the best solution to a particular problem. You can visualize it because you are a designer, sort of. You can imagine what it's going to look like. If it's a drop down, what it's going to look like. And then again, they are like not really getting it. They want to see what that design looks like. And in your own case, you know that it's not very convenient to design quickly, it's prototype it, and then probably show what it looks like. While you are not exactly sure if that's the solution you want to go for. I found myself in that situation so many times, and I know how to like basically just explain to them that, oh yeah, it's not really easy as you guys think. Just you cannot just pick to Figma and then it designs this for you. It actually takes time. Yeah, so I
Yeah,
think I don't know if that's what the context of the person is coming from, but I had
but
a
this is your
question
own
similar
concept.
to that. Yeah, but that's my own context where most people are not really like, or they want something done quick, but they don't realize how long it actually takes you, especially if you're the one designing, how long it takes for designs to actually become what they see. That most people feel like it's just I mean it's not just triangle and boxes, but we all know it's not just triangle and all of this, especially when they want to not just see a motionless design, they want to see the prototype version of that design
Hmm.
so that they can
Okay.
understand it better. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
I think
so let's go on.
okay, I think I'm guilty of that. I'm not gonna lie. I'm also very guilty of it.
Thanks,
So yeah,
thanks for confessing. So I guess you can answer Chinedu in a bit on how you'd like that to work. But Chinedu, the first question is: are you having these conversations physically via Zoom, Google Meet, or whatever other virtual method?
Most times it's virtual, most times it's actually physical. So we could be in the office and just quickly decide that, oh, this is what we want to do. And then everybody goes like, okay, nice, nice, nice. Can we see this evening? And I'm like, before I even get home and sit on my laptop and do this design, what are you talking about? So we
Yeah.
have these situations.
Okay. So um, you have to be strong-headed in a nice way, right? Well, that's my suggestion. When that kind of thing happens, first thing first is, as you guys are talking, paper and biro, draw something, explain it to them, their visual. So that will give them something to anticipate on what to expect when you finally get to Figma and help them understand that, oh, the Figma is going to take longer, but this is the idea visually. So they are seeing something, because I know for a fact that you cannot easily explain design with your mouth. So you cannot say, oh, I'll now put start button up here on the left and put this one on the right and put this at the bottom of this thing. It's not helping anybody, because whatever thing you are visualizing, the person is not looking at it with you. They're not in your brain seeing the same picture, right? So first things first, if it's fast visualization they need, put paper and biro together so they can quickly see something and explain to them that the Figma is going to take longer. This is the amount of time. Unfortunately, it does not mean you've now bought yourself 1 week. On your end as well, you have to add a little bit of machine to yourself in the sense that try to do things faster, but do not, but give them something at least to hold on to in the meantime. Because if we've only spoken about it and you're telling me, well, I have to wait for 2 days to actually see what it might look like, it's easy to push back. Once you've shown me with paper and biro, draw a box here, there, and there. This is it, this is it. You have labeled all the things, and they can actually see the placements and whatnot on the paper, right? Then that kind of gives them something to. It's just like now you're hungry, you take snacks first before you find food to eat, right? So they've at least they've gotten a little bit of satisfaction. They now know, oh, I see this thing we are talking about makes sense. It even helps you because in your paper and biro, you guys can even already now start the discussion. Oh, I don't agree that this should be here. This is why this should not be here. It should look like this or not. So you're not even wasting time going to do now maybe 10 versions of Figma screens, right? Because you guys have already had some discussions on the paper, and that then informs what you're actually now designing and giving to them. It also now shortens your own iteration.
All right, makes sense. Makes sense. Thank you. Oh yeah, like I said,
First,
I
I hope
I
you
I
work
can
for
begin to.
Aspire.
Okay, so the thing is, yeah, I just now there are things we product managers allow, just like you explained. We try to like so what I try to do is give them or allow them estimates, give me an estimate of time it would take. But then there are tasks or there are issues that I know that shouldn't take so much time. So how can you tell me as a designer to give me an email template will take you 3 days? Come on. Yeah. So it somehow, how would it take you 3 days as a designer to give me an email template? So yeah, I'm always on their neck, Sha, especially the engineers, those guys. Oh Lord. But then that's a discussion for another day. So, Mr. Yusuf, good evening. You wanted to ask something, yeah? Hello, Mr. Yusuf. Are you there? Olumide, you wanted to ask earlier. Are you ready now? Can you hear me? Or okay, so in the absence, someone is asking a question. Okay, okay, all right, thank you. So someone is asking this question. Where is he? So when faced with limited data to support a product decision, what strategies can be used to proceed with building the feature or product?
Hmm. Mm, well, the short answer is assumptions, and these assumptions should also be kind of informed, right? The person who asked the question is the person here best.
No. Okay, so most of this, I think these questions now are the ones we sourced. I don't know
Oh,
where from, but I think it's from the Slack channels and a couple of other places. So these ones don't
okay,
have names to them. Yeah.
all right, that's fine. So, limited data. I guess what I wanted to know is in what context or what areas is the data limited. But you have to have assumptions, and I'm saying informed assumptions because when I say assumptions, I'm not expecting to just sit down and say as a product manager, maybe they will just know. Your assumptions should be based on one, some of the limited data you already have. I'm sure you can pull some insights from there, right? Maybe you're expecting data from 100 people, you've gotten from 20. It's just not enough as far as you know. So look at the 20, what patterns can you get from there, from limited data that you have? And then always, 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 your users. That's always your next bus stop to start having conversations with. I also like to say your specific users, not the people that look like who should be there. The people you know are your target users that you have profiled, that these are the people that will get value from you, or and vice versa, right? So talk to as many of them as you can, right? And also look at the patterns that you're getting from the limited data you have. That will help you make some informed assumptions. And I and as a product manager, or in whatever product you are building, the truth is everything you are doing should also be approached from an experimental view, in the sense that whatever you thought might work today, you might get it out there. And please don't do this too often. What I mean is there should be a point in your product that you are now able to make decisions better, because you now actually have a user base that you're talking to and having these conversations with. But have things out there, and those things failing, I know a lot of CEOs will fight, but failing is not necessarily a bad thing. It just tells you maybe you've taken the wrong approach, and you should be able to pivot to finding out why it failed and what needs to be corrected and do it better.
Yeah, Chinedu, you can go on, please. Thank you for that.
Okay, fantastic. I think today is just my day. I'm happy that there are not many people asking questions. So let me really use this opportunity to get a lot of a lot of insights from Bisola. So I Bisola once again. First off, right, I have to say that I can notice that a lot of product managers, product lead, we always have this complaint of like, oh, stress and everything. But I'm looking at you and you're not looking stressed. You look actually really relaxed. So so I think you might really be able to give us like some little secrets as to like everybody knows product work is is mentally tedious, right? It's mentally demanding. So sometimes the thing about creative block and you just basically being fatigued generally. How do you keep on going when you feel that type of way? I mean, I know it's different for everybody, but what would you say works for you in terms of like how do you recharge? How do you just come off it?
A few things. One, sleep. Sleep always somehow gives you sleep always somehow gives you new perspective, because sometimes your brain just needed to rest, right? And so there is that. Two, it's great to have like people around you that you can brainstorm with. So when you're stuck, one of the things I always do is when you're stuck, one of the things I always do is talk to the people around me. Oh, this is what I'm trying to do, and here is where I'm stuck. What do you think? These are my thoughts, right? What do you think about this and that? And once you start having a conversation, sometimes you find yourself providing the answer to what you thought you didn't have an answer to before. You'd also get insights from other people, because sometimes you just need an extra eye. Sometimes you just need an extra eye. And yeah, I think, but the truth is, as I said earlier, you cannot get away from stress. It is impossible as a product manager. If you're not being stressed, then you need to ask questions.
Yeah, that's very helpful. The only part that I'm still struggling with is talking with other people. Like, exactly what Phil just asked. How many product managers really have friends to talk to? Like having that support structure, people to talk to. That's why I'm happy that we have PI, PIP, and and I'm happy for this. But then again, this is not like every day. You might be having the challenge on the spot, and you really, really just would like to talk to other people and like, okay, but if any
Yeah,
product designer was talking to me right now, I might punch you. I might not even listen. I might,
no, but
I might not really
to be
listen.
honest, PIP, even without this, allows you to do that. So there's a question channel on the Slack, right? And
Exactly, yeah.
you ask questions there. You find people. Unfortunately, I'm not one of the best people that stay on Slack, but I know many times I've come there and people are getting answers almost immediately. You might even ask a question that someone doesn't have the answer to, but they know the person who maybe is in that industry and might have a response for you, and they tag the person on your behalf. And then you guys can maybe go into each other's DMs, decide to have a call or whatever, and have that conversation. So the PIP community is not even just for these um, audio meets, right? You can also have those
Mhm.
questions in the Slack channel.
Yeah, so I agree. I agree. So
Yes,
just
you've got
to
me.
talk, Faith says how many PMs are friends? Okay.
No, she said
So
have
I agree with
many.
what people like. How many
How
PMs?
many?
Okay, how
Have many.
many PMs? Oh, right, right. Yeah. So just like talking to people, okay, you can send your request on Slack. All right. So I've met product managers too. I have friends as product managers, and funny thing is I assisted them. Okay. Sometimes I go on long calls to explain this, do this, and the feedbacks have been amazing too. So you can always have friends. You can always have PM friends or send if you have concerns. Use the question channel on Slack, or you could DM me. If they're too tough, I'll refer you to Bisola. Simple. Do you understand? DM me on Slack, but if they're too
When-
tough, yeah, I'll refer you to Bisola. Yeah. So, but that works really. So,
Sorry, I mean best. When did you send
That
that contract?
that is really the best option. Just refer me to this. I don't even bother answering. Just send me to her DM. I'm sure she will
yeah.
remember
All
me
right.
after today.
Yes, I will. Faith, thank you. I'm blushing. I'm sure you can see that.
Okay.
I think it's
So,
just Bisola Jolaoso Slack, I think. Olumide, that's to your question.
someone is asking, how do we manage stakeholders effectively when faced with competing perspectives and product requirements? Yeah, I think this part, right, is one of the most frequently asked questions. I think I asked you this question last time too. So, but yeah, let's hear it.
Okay. I think first thing I like to tell people is meet your stakeholders at the point of their need and understanding, right? The way I expect you to manage an engineer is not the exact way you manage a salesperson. Speak their language. A salesperson wants to understand how this turns to money, right? So show him if you are doing this, you get $20,000. If you are doing this, you only get $5,000. That basically already tells him, oh, this is a better place to go, right? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Olimido, you can maybe exit then join again.
And if you're talking to an engineer, right, what is his own pain point? It is what, how can I build this faster? What makes sense here and what can work? So you're not going to talk to an engineer and tell him, oh, you need to put a slash here in your code, you need to do this. That's not your business. This is where we are going to get to, and this is how we need to, this is the outcome we're expecting, right? The moment you start encroaching in an engineer space, you have invited World War II, because that already means that why are you telling me how to do my work? That's whether you've been a developer before, nobody really cares. Keep that in your pocket. It only gives you better insights than maybe someone who has never um, been an engineer, but does not mean that you should not be pain in their neck. And when your engineers do good work, please be very quick to give out praise. The same way you go and be shouting, Chinedu, where's my code? Where's my app? What's this thing today? You are delaying. You said 2 days. It's now been 3 days. So the same energy you are using to chase them, use the same energy to praise them when they work well. Your CEO, what does he want to know? This is not going to scatter my company. I'm going to go to the board of directors and say, so for your CEO, there's money, there's other things there. So basically, it's really understand everybody's pain and their need and talk to them accordingly. And one thing from your earlier question, Chinedu, you also mentioned, oh, some people are visual and whatnot. Also, deal with your stakeholders in the way that they understand best. You might have a stakeholder that wants to read long epistle. You might have one that has no time for rubbish. Get straight to the point. You might have one that wants to, that a prototype will be a better um, thing for the person to understand what you are doing. So, as a PM, part of your work is also psychological, getting in the heads of your people and figuring them out, and then treating them and handling them the way they need to be handled and how best they work.
Thank you, thank you, thank you so much. Do you have any last question before we call it? Because someone says, "Good evening. I've been doing some research on PM for a while now, and that was how I came across this community. Now I'm at the stage where I need to decide on what school training program to enroll in from the different ones out there. Could you please explain, Raphael? Are you there? Maybe you could. Bisola, I don't know
So
if
it
you got that.
sounds
Just the
like,
best
yes,
experience.
I think I understand the question. The person has
Okay.
done some research and now they found that they're interested in product management, but they want to go a step further by taking a course. So they are looking for recommendations and what is best. Well, I know that PIP has a partnership with Trefford, if I remember correctly. Best, am I correct?
People, what? Come again.
I said PIP has a partnership with Trefford, if I remember correctly, and they have some
I
product
think
management.
so, yeah. Yes.
Yes, so there's Trefford, there's Product Dive, which is where I had my own product management course, and then I know Utiba also has some courses. So, but I'd like people who maybe took courses more recently to give honest feedback on how that might have helped them. So, Raphael, you can put your question in the Slack channel so that way you get more insights from more people.
So this is what you do. Leave your comments, leave your question in the Slack channel, right? We're gonna attend to you. Yeah, I might also. Any other question? Do you have any last question, please? Do you have any last question? And Chinedu, please do not raise your hand, please. Not anymore.
Chinedu is been banned.
That's not fair. That's not fair.
Okay,
Oh,
one last question.
actually,
Yeah, go
I
on.
I don't actually have a question. I actually have a few questions, but of course, I know that's something that I can figure out as time goes by. And then I also have like a community now to support. So I think
Okay.
rather than ask a question, what I want to do is say a very big thank you to you and Bisola for this, and just I don't know, just
Okay.
wanted to say
No,
thank you. Yeah.
thank you, thank you. Can we quickly
Yeah.
take Yusuf? Yusuf, yeah, you can go on.
All right, good evening. Thank you, Bisola, for the beautiful insight you'll be sharing this morning. I really appreciate these things because they are common to PMs like us. We always face something like that in the work. So my question is this: I am on the verge of leaving my work and as I look for other opportunities out there, but there is this dilemma that I'm having in my role. I just recently promoted to head of products, which means I'm the senior product manager. But frequently I used to have this back and forth with technical manager in the technical CTO, the CTO. When we want to design maybe a new feature and we have this feature prioritization and all the likes, as a PM and who I have some PM under me, and we have to go together and have the insights with the product designer. I realize that CTO always wants, he doesn't even care about the design. Whatever he figure out in his head, that's what he wants to want. And he doesn't even care about documentation. He just wants us to just like, hey, we don't need to do documentation. We don't want to do this thing. So our documentation process is very, very slim, which is really why I'm looking like where I can actually put all the learning I've learned into practice and leave that point. But I don't know. I'm finding it difficult to manage the situation of CTO and the stakeholder, who is the CEO, not actually buy the idea of documenting features and likes. And when the issue now comes back, you now have to, because you tilted on what you have done before. So I don't know, maybe you have any insights you can share with me managing people like that who don't believe in documentation or processing that will involve what's the official guideline. Now I just want things to just come out. We don't care about how the thing is being done.
Okay. All right. Well, first, to be honest, I think I've been very lucky with my engineering counterparts in my product management career. But I think with your CTO that is always fighting, I'm the major problem is they feel like they can't see the value of it, right? Unfortunately, you're not going to change him in one day. Do you understand? And even if they are telling you, oh, to help with your um, documentation, I believe you should still do it, right? And here is why. As you've said, when there is problem, right, that you feel that the documentation could have um, solved if you guys had done it ahead, and they're now coming. Unfortunately, you have to politely and professionally do them unto I told you so. Because the documentation you had sent to them before has it, right? So it's yes, there's the convincing and toasting part, helping your CTO understand, oh, this is why this is necessary and all of that. But go further than just talking. Have the documentation there. Let him look at it a few times, because the truth is it sounds like a thing where it's only trust, right, that can change their mind and actually seeing it at play. So if you have that documentation there where maybe you've already had the acceptance criteria, all of the things that would actually guide them to building things right, and they ignore it, when shit hits the fan and you show them, oh, if you had used this documentation, we could have um avoided this. And I'm saying this like this because I'm talking to you. I'm not saying that's what you can tell them, because now you are now putting them in a defensive way, in a defensive position, which is why I said professionally and politely and as nice as you can. Find a way to do your untoe, because here's the thing you ignored that could have saved your life. So once they see that a few times, then it's now, oh, this thing Yusuf has been saying actually makes sense. We've seen this, and this could have helped us. This is how it helps us. And sometimes it's not even necessarily just when there's trouble, right? They're building something that is not according without the documentation. The truth is, whether we like it or not, there'll definitely be things that are falling through the cracks that you can easily catch even in the process before it gets to becoming a big deal. So show them, oh, see the acceptance criteria. If you are building this particular feature, right, these are all of the things that needs to be checked, but you've only checked 5. Use this documentation and you see that you stop missing things, right? This helps you to see what you need to do when and how and what is more important, and this is why this is more important. So there'll be a lot more justification. It's not just by giving them a PRD, right? It is, in fact, your PRD now has to come with a proposal as to this is why you should consider this document useful. Start thinking of it like maybe you're teaching a new PM, right? So what are the reasons? What are the pros and cons, the benefits of this and all of that? And then gradually, I hope that your CTO, excuse me, is reasonable enough to take information and make changes when necessary. Otherwise, your CTO is your village people. That's all I can say.
Okay, thank you very much. Yusuf, does that help?
Yeah, it does. It does. Thank you so much. So,
Yeah.
to just up top, what you just explained, I really get it. So that is what brought me to, because the reason why it pay me most time is this: looking for other opportunities. You want to put your work you have done, the work you have done into the portfolio, like maybe some other, and those things are not well documented. Maybe they are not even there. You like realize that, oh, apart from you not documenting for the company, not really because of what these people are giving you as challenges. It's even affecting your own progress as well, because now you need those things to be put in your portfolio, but you have not been. What you just share with me now give me more insight on what to do about it. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you so much, Bisola. But I sent a text. Could you please leave your LinkedIn profile so that anybody who wants to connect with you on the will be able to. Anyways, thank you so much for gracing us today again. Thank you. So we're gonna miss you in June because we're having uh we're gonna have a different facilitator in June, and this is someone you guys know already, so it'll be interesting.
Who's coming in
We're still
June?
gonna have Bisola back.
Or is it a
I'm
secret?
not sure when. What?
I said who's coming in June, or is this a secret for now?
No, it's not actually. It's Roger. They know Roger. I'm sure you guys know
Oh,
Roger.
okay.
Yeah,
Oh, Roger's
yeah,
coming back.
yeah.
Good.
Roger is coming in June, so I'll see you guys. Um, so for other programs we have interview prep session that also holds twice a month as Tuesday, just like GMS. This is where um we help you, prep you for interviews, job interviews, review your CVs and give feedback. All right. So please attend those ones. Then there's also webinars twice a month. All right. This is where you learn something in product, maybe strategy or anything at all. That's what the webinars are for. Then there's weekly check-in calls that happen every Saturdays. I'm sure you guys are familiar with these programs. All right. So we would see you on there. So thank you, Bisola. Could you leave your LinkedIn here? Is that okay?
I'm trying to find the link, but network is failing me. My name is I'll just put my name, my LinkedIn name here, and
Okay.
you guys can use that to find me.
All right. All right. Thank you very much. Thank you for gracing us. So you guys, that's Bisola's name. Okay. So just you can connect with her on LinkedIn. So if you have questions, you can also send there privately. If you guys are connected with her. Have a good night, you guys. Thank you so much, Bisola, once again.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.
Bye. Bye, Bisola. I'm reading your DM, so just move.
Please now.
No.